Welcome back to another full day of training. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Won. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and also comment below any sort of questions or any thoughts that you may have. Today is all about full body training. So I'm going to take you through my exercises where I'm going to be doing a full upper body hypertrophy exercise training. Basically, we're working on muscle growth as well as power output. So if you're new here, again, feel free to subscribe. We host weekly videos at least. First thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna attach this band up to these safety pins, and we're gonna be doing some band assisted plyo push-ups. So it's gonna be a great way in order to work on maximizing speed while not breaking down the tissues too much. So let's go ahead and dive into that right now. So we're going to start with the band down here, and we're getting at least 30 reps here. We're gonna be doing some explosive push-ups as fast as possible, right? So as you guys can see, band assisted plyo push-ups are great for maximizing speed. So the first part of our training today is for maximizing speed, and we're working on plyometric output. Plyometric is a great way to either work on explosiveness, either of your upper body or of your lower body. So for future videos, I'm gonna share with you guys how I'm trying to stay as springy, as explosive, and also injury-free as I decide to play certain sports, whether that's running, either tennis or even basketball. These are all things that I want to share with you guys as a busy parent who wants to stay injury as well as pain-free, also maintain as much muscle mass as possible. So first exercise is a band assisted plyo push-up, and we're doing that for at least 3 sets of 30 repetitions. So next, what we're doing here is a pretty high volume 3 sets of 10 to 15 weighted chin-ups. So one of my favorite exercises by far in order to improve scapular positioning and shoulder stability is, again, working your lats. And one of the better effective exercises is holding your body weight up against gravity. Lat pull downs are great. Bent over rows are great. I still utilize them in my training, but those are very much accessory exercises relative to something that has more core stability demands, and you're kind of holding your weight up against gravity. So in any case, I'm gonna grab this band, I'm gonna attach 35 pounds, nothing too fancy here. So let's go ahead and dive into this now. Getting at least 10 repetitions here. All right, so that was 3 sets of 12. Usually what I do in between sets, usually, unless I'm talking to a camera like you guys, usually I'm logging my reps in between. So not wasting time, making sure that you're logging your data. You'll see that in probably dozens, if not hundreds of videos at some point, that a very important skill is to actually log your exercises. Probably it takes a little bit more mental effort in the beginning, but you're gonna see a lot more growth over time because you'll be able to apply and look at that data from week to week, or even month to month, or even year to year, and make sure that you're consistently pushing forward, going 1% better, increasing either the repetitions, the amount of weight that you're doing. And that's changed the game for me, going from somebody that could hardly do even bodyweight pull-ups in high school to barely doing even like 15, 20 pounds, probably through grad school, and now hitting 100 plus pounds consistently. So anyways, I'm gonna do one more set, so let's get into it. And that's another 12. All right. So usually, again, take the phone, log your data. Usually I'm using my own note taker from the past 10 to 12 years called FitNotes. So great app, at least for Android. On Apple, I feel like the user interface is a little different, but this allows me to transfer all my data from phone to phone. And it's an amazing tool. I think I paid for lifetime access for less than $10 back in the day, and it holds all my data for over the past 12 years. So pretty cool tool. Like I said, what can't be measured can't be managed. And so whatever tool you decide to use, spreadsheets, do it on paper, which is not as useful because you can't look at data and graphs, or something like FitNotes. I'll leave that in the description below and feel free to download it. No affiliate, it's just something that I use consistently. And for a lot of my clients, I usually create them more robust trainings with video demonstrations and exact sets and repetitions, but I don't use that for myself. So great tool again, very easy user interface, shows me what I've done over the many years of historical data. Since this one is band assisted plyo push-ups, which I was doing just recently. I've had data from 2023, so more of a relatively new exercise, but things like pull-ups and chin-ups, I probably have data from back to 2018 and beyond. So, all right, I'm gonna get one more set and let's get into the next exercise. So we're still working towards hypertrophy, but also really working as well as muscular endurance. So I'm switching things up a bit. This is my new training split for this week as of July 29th, 2025. And I'm really focusing on more plyometric output. So getting my tendons nice and springy and make sure that my tendons don't get strained or even tear. And I'm also working a lot on hypertrophy. So you'll see that previous numbers and previous lifts that I used to do were much higher in weight, also lower in volume. And that's fine too, because I was working mainly on peak strength, getting peak neurological output out of certain tissues. But I really want to work on growing the mass of various areas of my body, like my chest, my lats, and really working on, again, muscular endurance. So that way, any sort of activities that I want to do right now, which is right now it's a lot of more endurance type and fast switch type exercises like basketball and being more explosive there, and just being able to sustain a high amount of output for at least 45 minutes to an hour, if not more. Sometimes I'm playing basketball for even 2 hours. I want to show you the type of training that I'm doing right now. So in any case, this is going to be 3 sets of 15 to even 30 repetitions of barbell bench, and the next one after that is going to be a single arm landmine overhead press. So a lot of times I'm doing a lot of overhead movements, so that's very functional for my specific type of training. So let's get into it. And that was 20. Whew. So 1 minute rest break, repeat that over twice over. And after that, like I said, let's get into a little bit more overhead movement, all right? Our next exercise is called landmine single arm overhead press. So this exercise, I'm gonna be assuming a lunge position. And with my left leg forward, I'm gonna be pushing straight overhead. And the way that I set it up, as you guys can see from my home gym, is you can see here that I have this landmine attachment that actually can be anchored to the floor. I decide not to, just so I don't ruin my floors. But all I really do is I have a pretty cost-effective landmine attachment from Yes For All. I can link that in the descriptions from Amazon. And I have a kettlebell just to weigh that down. I can put that at a corner, although that can ruin the corners. A lot of people, they'll put, a lot of times a tennis ball on the outside of the barbell, and that way they can attach it to any corners. But I like this setup because the kettlebell is pretty heavy and I'm able to assume a pretty good landmine attachment in the middle of my gym. So let's get into it and I'll show you how that works. So I have the landmine attachment, nothing too crazy. Tall kneeling position, abs tight, body stacked, so my abs are directly stacked on top of my pelvis. I'm gonna use this just to counter it myself. That's 10. Haven't done these in a while, but these are great, especially for an athlete like myself. I mainly play a lot of basketball, so it's great that I actually get that direct elbow right underneath the elbow, which is really indicative of like, you know, any sort of like jump shooters, or if you're doing anything where like you're directly like punching overhead or moving your arms overhead. So great for like overhead, as well as tennis athletes that need to get their arms overhead and have a lot of shoulder stability. So we worked on chin-ups. Like I said, really important to stabilize and kind of grab down the scapula, depress the scapula, and prevent shoulder injuries. But you also need to be very stable going the opposite direction. So one is a pulling movement versus the opposite is a overhead. So we're covering all the ground with regards to improving overhead stability. So let's get into our next exercise from here. All right, classic rope tricep pushdown. Doing this for high repetitions, like I said, heavy bias towards hypertrophy. So 3 sets, around 15 to 20 reps. Oh my God, 20. That is a pump. That is a pump. Getting at least 40 more reps, we'll see how it goes. So, any case, if you guys are getting value from today, you wanna learn more about how to get in the right type of training for your body. If you're looking to build your body up and also get stronger, feel free to subscribe. But also, I'm gonna leave a QR code right here in the description. If you'd like to take advantage of that, we're offering free 1-hour consultation with our team in order to help you with any sort of your health and fitness goals. So go to the link here, apply now to book in for a free consultation and see if we can help you specifically. So the next exercise is called a single arm rear delt cable fly. One of my favorite variations is using a ball as well as an ankle attachment. So I'm going to attach an ankle attachment to my wrist and I'm going to squeeze this ball. So there's a law called the law of radiation where if you do squeeze anything, that does tighten up a lot of the forearm muscles, which allows your whole entire upper extremity to be more rigid. So I do find that like if I use just a cable, a lot of times if your wrist starts to give out, is that your wrist will start to bend and then you'll start to lose momentum, usually on some sort of either dumbbell rear delt fly or even a cable rear delt fly with a hand attachment. So I like this variation because it takes the wrist muscles out of the way, allowing me to squeeze and get a very effective pump for my rear delts. So let me show you how that setup looks. So the setup here again is I'm going to hold onto this ball. I'm going to have that attached to the cable. And then I'm going to simply slip it through and I actually wrap it first. Now the next thing that I do is I'm going to slip my wrist inside like so. And now I'm going to squeeze this ball here. So when I kind of lean out and I bend forward, I get a very effective exercise swinging out to the side. And you really, when you're doing this exercise, again, usually my wrist would get fatigued and your wrist will start to bend, but we're taking the wrist and the hand completely out of it, allowing me to just really focus on the rear delt. All right, that's 12. So we are here for just 2 sets of 15. Last few exercises, or we're just gonna go into a barbell shrug and then we're gonna call it a day. Seated side lateral raise. We're going to be doing this for pretty lightweight, anywhere between 15 to 30 repetitions. So going to be going for as many reps as possible. For now, for this training, especially just for starting this training split, usually when you get into a new training split, you don't want to take things to complete contractile failure. As you get more well-trained and into the new training plan, you can start to push it a little bit harder to 1 to 2 reps shy of failure in order to induce more muscle growth. Right now, we're going to approaching about 3 to 4 reps shy of failure, basically hitting a rate of perceived exertion around 7 to 8. So you should still have maybe 3 to 4 reps left in the tank. And that's usually a smart way to go whenever you're diving into a new training split. Okay, so my new training split was just this past Sunday. Today is Wednesday. So we're not going to be working to complete failure yet. Okay, so let's dive into it now. Okay, subjectively, 3 to 4 reps left in the tank, 22 reps. Last and final exercise after this is going to be a barbell shrug, just to work on a little bit of scapular elevation. We worked on scapular depression through chin-ups. We worked on scapular upward rotation through landmine overhead press. We worked a lot on different pressing variations today. Arms are feeling absolutely pumped right now, but not overly fatigued. So this is usually a smart way to go. Smart training will usually outdo any sort of just go ham at it, as many reps as possible every single time. You want to be pretty smart with your training. So like I said, if you're interested, in the description, we have a free 1-hour consultation. Just fill out an application. After that, feel free to book in for a call and see how it can help you. Last one, barbell shrugs. All right, guys, that is the end of our full body power hypertrophy training for upper body. If you found any of that helpful, inspiring, if you were really vibing with this content, please help grow this channel and also share and allow other people to have some sort of impact on health by watching these videos. So feel free to subscribe below, comment, let me know what other feedback you want from these trainings. And like I said, we upload videos every Monday at 5 p.m. If you are interested in any form of coaching, especially if you are a busy parent that either is struggling with declining health, you're in constant pain, or if you're just looking to get stronger and build a healthier lifestyle, right here, click the link or scan the QR code here where we can have a conversation with you. All you gotta do is apply. And once you fill out an application, you'll be taken to a calendar to booking for a call with our team and see how we can help you. It's a completely free 1-hour consultation to see if we are a good fit to help you and see if we can help you with your health and fitness goals. But not just that, improve your quality of life and make sure that we set you on a trajectory towards better health and longevity. All right, we'll see you on the next training.